Hello, hi there. So I got asked a question Tuesday, we are Thursday, um, on a live webinar that I was doing about how the biggest career advancements happen during times of crisis. And someone asked the question, when you voice your opinion, what if the execs think that you're complaining instead of trying to come up with solutions? And the difference is the difference between people pleasing and being of service. So I'm going to address this question today. I'm Stacy Mayer from Stacy Mayer Coaching. I coach corporate managers to get promoted into higher level leadership positions. And I am on a mission to get 1,000 talented professionals in senior leadership positions each and every year worldwide. So I thank you for being here with me today, and congratulations, because you might be one of those people in 2020. So have you ever received that feedback that you are complaining instead of offering solutions? Let me start with telling you a story about one of my clients. And if you're just joining me, please say hi in the chat. And I will say hi back if you have any questions throughout. I'm watching the chat. But anyway, so let me tell you about a client of mine who is super smart, because that's usually what ends up happening when we're told that we're complaining a lot. It's because we see things that other people don't see. So the first thing that I want to offer you is that you are good. Like, it's not a bad thing that you see things that other people don't see, that you want to offer, that you want to help. That in and of itself is not inherently bad. The challenge comes when we're unable to communicate that in a way that actually shows the people around us that we're not just complaining all the time, but that we really care about offering the solutions. So this client of mine, she's a vice president, and she's actually considered a member of the leadership team. Only one of the challenges that she faces is that the people on the leadership team don't necessarily see her that way, right? So you can imagine what these meetings are like, where you have a bunch of actual C-suite executives in a meeting, and then she has a title of vice president, and the CEO wants her to be a part of the meetings. So that's already a challenge. She's in a place of having to prove herself, right? The other challenge, and the reason that the CEO wants her to be in these meetings all of the time, is because she does actually see things differently. She does actually see solutions that other people don't see. But her work is learning how to communicate that in a way that doesn't put everybody in the meeting on defense or just think that she is complaining all the time. So this has been our work through coaching. This is what I work with her every day on how she can communicate that. And I'm going to give you today 3 powerful questions that you can ask yourself if you are one of those people who are often seen as a complainer and not solution focused. So the first thing that I talked about is this idea of the solution is actually the difference between people pleasing and being of service, right? So what I mean by that is that our reaction when we receive this type of feedback, and I think that it's much more common with women because we don't like conflict. We don't want conflict at work. We're often not really very ego driven. So sometimes when we get pushed a little bit, then we tend to back down. But it certainly happens to men as well, all different types of managers, especially up until the point that you actually get the title and the level of responsibility to go along with your ability to see problems for the organization. So what does people pleasing look like? People pleasing would be, I am told that I am complaining too much and not able to offer solutions. And so what do I do instead? I stop complaining. I stop offering solutions. I stop bringing things up. I say, oh, okay, you know what? You're right. I'm sorry. I overstepped. So that would be people pleasing. This is not the solution to this problem. The other opposite is that you really want to help, right? So that you want to be of service. You're like, oh, I see this problem and I want to fix it so bad and I want to tell them. And so then what you do is you just keep bringing it up. This is a problem. This is a problem. This is a problem over and over and over again. And you're on your soapbox so much. And people are busy, especially on the leadership team. They don't have time to solve all of the problems that you bring up. So that's when you have to figure out a different way to communicate it that's very actually solution oriented, which is not about like, I really desperately want to help, but that actually helps solve the problem. The other thing I want to point out to you is that perception is reality. So while I don't want you to disappear when you receive this type of feedback, I also want you to know that if people see you as complaining, then it's quite possible that you are complaining. So what I mean by that is check in with yourself and say, am I complaining or am I actually doing something about it? And by doing something about it, it could mean coming up with an actual solution to the problem, but it could also mean, am I checking in with myself and seeing like how I could better communicate to people? Am I doing the work that is necessary to be a more effective communicator? So these are the 3 questions that I want to ask you to ask yourself if you find yourself receiving this feedback about complaining too much and not actually offering solutions. Is I want you to really understand that it's likely that you're being judgmental in this situation. So ask yourself the question, can I be less judgmental and more loving in this situation? So if usually when we're offering solutions a lot, it's because we think the other people in the room don't have the answer. So we have to save the day and we have to solve their problems for them, which has a certain level of judgment in it. It's assuming that they can't figure it out for themselves. Now, once again, it is your job to speak up when you see a problem, to actually offer ideas. So I want you to continue speaking up, but how can I do that in a really loving way? And when we think about love, I want you to think about your spouse. So somebody that you actually do love, hopefully, and care about this person, or think about somebody in your family that you genuinely care about. And think about all of the times that you're judgmental to them. Like somebody that you really love. And let's get honest with ourselves. Like we can be super judgy in our conversations with people, and other people can feel that judgment. They can see that we're not being genuine, that we don't genuinely want to help them. We mostly just want to tell them that they're wrong. And so when you really realize that and you say, oh my gosh, I actually love you. And so then think about how that plays out at work with people that you don't necessarily love. You're probably being even more judgmental, right? So like, how can I be more caring, assuming that this person is a capable human being? The second question that I want you to ask yourself is, do you want to be right, or do you want to actually solve the problem? Do you want to be right, or do you want to solve the problem? So is your goal when offering solutions to just come up with the best idea, or is your goal to actually solve the problem? And if your goal is to solve the problem, then very often you're going to have to do something different. You're going to have to come up with the solution yourself and figure out how to present that instead of just telling people about the problem. You're going to have to, like I said, check in on your communication, own the fact that you're being judgmental. Like, how am I presenting this information that is making the person on the receiving end more defensive? And the third question that I want you to ask yourself is, what would I need to do to have the receivers of this think that all of my ideas were the most amazing idea ever? And sometimes when I ask my clients this question, they're like, well, I'd have to be like such and such, who's just an ass kiss all the time and is like a people pleaser through the roof and is just like exactly like my boss and does everything that he says and is just like a yes person. So of course he loves all of her ideas. No, I don't want you to become that, right? But there's something in the middle. There's something that you can do so that you can actually be a solution-oriented problem solver, right? There's some way that you can continue to speak up, but do it in a way that makes that other person look good, and so that they actually buy in to your solution. So this is the work that I do with my clients. I work with them all day long until the cows come home on their communication. We are not ineffective leaders. We are just poor communicators. And this is a learned skill. This is something that you can learn how to do better. And I am a coach that helps you do that. So as stated in the beginning, I coach corporate managers to get promoted into higher level leadership positions. If you are interested in doing that in 2020, I encourage you to sign up for a free career strategy session. I'm working with clients right now through the COVID-19 crisis who are setting themselves up to succeed in a really big and amazing way. So if you want to get promoted in the fall, go to staceymayer.com/apply. I'm going to post that into the comments. You'll see if you're eligible for a career strategy session. You'll get on my calendar and then we'll talk. We'll map it out for you. It's totally risk-free. And if it seems like a good fit, I'll tell you how I can help you get there. All right, you guys have a wonderful Thursday. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.